Hello financial investors and welcome to the channel. My name is Brent and today we are going to be doing our weekly recap for April 20th to the 24th, 2020. We have just 1 week left here in April and we're already in May, the 5th month of 2020. Currently we're going to go ahead and do our recap going over the four main indexes, taking a look at stock futures, which really don't mean too much up until the morning of Monday, where there's some economic news. Maybe the overseas markets are open and sort of seeing how the markets are doing overseas and what sort of news has been affecting them. Then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the entire S&P 500 performance here for this past week. Take a look at oil, the dollar, silver, gold, bonds, and wrap it up with mortgage rates. These videos and this series is used to watch the four main indexes here during this time frame and just any other time frame of the market. I like to do these that way I can look back in this playlist at these videos and take a look at the performance of the markets as different events have taken place here in the stock market. So, with that said, if you are brand new to my channel, have not yet subscribed, I would really appreciate if you do hit the subscribe button below, give this video a thumbs up, and of course, if you have any comments or questions going over the stock market, dividends, any stocks you would like to see discussed here on the channel, or if you have any questions on any brokers and such, drop them into the comment section below. I also do have some links down in the description if you guys are interested in checking out Robinhood, M1 Finance, Webull. Robinhood and Webull both give free stocks. M1 Finance is just a great platform that I've used, and those are some of the quick incentives there. So let's go ahead and get into the video here. So we're going to quickly go over some of the news that was posted over on Facebook this week. I like to post information that I find interesting over on Facebook. I've been trying to do a bit more of this every day or every other day. I'd like to post something that is sort of trending, what was the big topic that day. And I forgot to get the article for the job numbers, which, just came to my head now as I'm recording this. So we won't capture that, but we'll go ahead and capture a few other items that I thought was pretty interesting. So last week, the markets rallied over 2%, put out the video here. We went over the markets, what has done the best up to the year to date. We talked about Microsoft, Amazon, Netflix, and many of those other stay-at-home businesses and where they are at year to date. We also discussed the weekly performance and the hopes of the economy reopening here in the future. I believe the date currently is set as the 4th or so of May when the economy will begin to reopen. I know some of the smaller businesses have already started to kind of open back up very slowly. Some of the chains, restaurants and stuff, we've been able to order and get some food, which has been different than we've had in the last few weeks. So there is some reopening and hopes there of the economy. Now, this is an interesting article back on the 21st. Now, the 21st was Tuesday. A lot of oil discussions going on with the oil just completely tanking here. So if we want to really quickly jump over, take a look at the United States Oil Fund, ticker symbol USO, this tanked extremely hard Monday, Tuesday, losing over 35% in a 2-day period, and it just continued a downtrend throughout the week, going down a total 38.84%, losing nearly 80% of its value year to date. Now, during this time frame, the oil tankers, so these businesses that just store oil out in the ocean, their stock market prices grew in the double digits. So we have a few little ticker symbols down here at the bottom: Fro, TK, Scorpio Tankers, Nordic American Tankers. So I know I posted this article really early on Tuesday, and then I know there was another channel out there that discussed buying the Nordic American Tankers, and then it shot up some 10-12%, and they believe that they had been the ones that had made a video and caused this thing to happen. So that's just not the case. There was so much news and media coverage on oil just being everywhere. It was dropping below $1 at that time, the futures contracts, and became priceless. Then we saw all the memes this week. They were asking for $1 of gas, and they gave them a big old, truck full of gas there. So some interesting article there. I didn't put the whole article there. This is just on my phone. I took a screenshot. Thought it was very interesting to kind of check out some tanker stocks. I think it's a good area to be in now as far as tanker stocks, but where's the turnaround point? And I really haven't done my research, so I'm not really interested in there. I know my main focuses are on solid dividend aristocrats with growing revenue, net income, free cash flow, growing dividends, continuing to move upwards regardless of where we are at currently in the economy and in the market. Yes, stocks will get beat up. That's normal. They go up and down. But over the long term, I like to invest in companies with solid futures. So I did put out a new video on Monday going over my stocks to buy, or what stocks I am buying and looking at this week. My 4 stocks here that I was purchasing are Eaton Vance, Waco Group, Walgreens, and Chevron. So these are all great long-term companies that have grown and paid out dividends for the past 25 years or further. I think the highest risk of the 4 is definitely Chevron, followed by Eaton Vance, then Walgreens, or actually Waco, and then Walgreens. So all 4 of those positions are probably on the higher end of the riskier, but they're still solid companies in my eyes. So I didn't share the other video, so if you head over to my channel, The Financial Investor, I covered some subscriber questions. If anybody ever has any questions on any of the platforms, I'm on M1 Finance, I'm on Robinhood, Webull, Merrill Edge, Fidelity now. So I got 5 different brokers out there that I have accounts through. So if you guys ever have any sort of questions, drop them into the comment section. If it's something I can create a video and discuss and answer, then I will do so in a video. That way it can get out and maybe other investors, other viewers, subscribers are able to have those same questions and get them answered. So definitely check out the channel, check out the new videos, and let's see, I think I posted two other things here. So this is just a very interesting article here. How many different sources of income do you have? I thought this would be kind of a nice little share. Do you only have one source of income? I know a lot of friends here locally where I'm at who have recently been laid off, or their businesses have just closed, so they don't know whether they're going to have a job or not once this whole thing comes over, starts over. Small businesses, they cannot last very long. They have rent, they have bills. Well, if they can't make it during this downturn and they have to close, declare bankruptcy, those people who had a job prior no longer have that job. So by having a job, you are just one source from being broke. You're just over broke. Once that job goes away, all your income goes away with it. So, I put 15 different ideas of picking a profitable hobby, and eventually I am going to be discussing these on my website, creating a profitable, creating streams of income from building a Facebook page, a website, a YouTube channel. There's so many different ways of creating income online these days. So that was interesting. And then my very last article talks about USO. I know Jeremy over at the Financial Investor channel also created a really good video talking about how USO works. Now, for the past year or two that I've been discussing my weekly recaps, we have covered the USO fund here. And this is not a stock or an ETF. It is a sort of bundle, and it tracks the short-term future contracts on light sweet crude oil, and that's what it does. It kind of predicts the future, but it does so in a line. It tried to align itself very much with how the oil was moving. Now, recently, due to just how wacky the current state of the economy is, just completely shut down. There's no need for oil right now. Oil has been sort of getting grouped together with future contracts of different months, and they've been having to group them. But this article went into a really good depth as far as how the fund works in itself. So a lot of investors just did not know that. This is one of the few funds here, or holdings, that can actually move into the negative. So this was an interesting article kind of discussing how USO was one of the most sought after funds on Robinhood and on SoFi Invest on Tuesday. The ETF well, the ETF. I posted ETF, but it's some sort of a holding that tracks futures. Saw a 300% increase in ownership month over month. So this is just a straight copy from the website there. And then I did have the article sort of posted here also below. So if you guys are interested in how this sort of trades and is invested, this does go into a great deal on how the contracts in the future are actually getting kind of wrapped in, and how they are expiring months out, and how they just had to actually combine a few months. So it's a very interesting article. I think this fund is one of the very, harder ones to kind of understand, but I don't want to dive too much into that. We've already covered so much and we've already spent so much time. Let's go ahead and cover the rest of the markets and the indexes here. So the S&P 500 this week down 1.32% this week. I'm actually a bit surprised with what is currently going on. Some hope still out there. Lots of talk of reopening states, reopening counties, and different cities and such. I know here locally where I'm at, we have a date set here just a few weeks away. We're going to begin to reopen all the small little businesses, our dentists, our orthopedics, our other non-essential businesses are going to begin to get reopened, and we're getting letters in the mail of their big ol' reopening. That way all their clients and such can come back in and hopefully return to some sort of a normal, but I don't believe that's what's going to happen, so we'll see some continued slowdown here in the short term. Right now, the S&P 500 is only down 12.2%, but who knows where it can go. I'm actually a bit surprised. Again, it's down 1.32 on the week. I really don't know what to expect of the market during this time. I would expect a further decline, but with it being down 1.32, just a little bit of choppiness out there in the markets across all the indexes. The Dow Jones down 1.93, year to date down 16.69%. The NASDAQ just a few percentage off positive. You can see here the NASDAQ is only down 3.77% from being positive here year to date. This week, essentially flat on the week, down 0.18%. And then we have the Russell 2000. This is the only positive index of the four, being up 0.32. So here is your small mid-cap companies, the ones that had been affected the most so far. So if you take a look at this ETF, it is down 26.10% in comparison to the NASDAQ, which is just down 3.77, 16.69, and 12.2. We see the Russell down a whopping 26.10, and this is just due to smaller mid-cap companies being hammered, haven't been shut down, and may not potentially recover in the future. So there's a lot more risk in these smaller mid-cap companies, but with the hopes and a date set for a lot of this to begin reopening, we do see that they did have a bit more positivity than upside this week. So I know where I currently work. I work at a credit, I work in the financial credit union, so we have not shut down. I'm continuing to work from home. We had a big discussion on we could continue to not lay anybody off. We could prolong this a year out, a year and a half out, as we currently are, and be completely fine. And then we had a big discussion on the stages of what would take place if our funds for the total credit union were to fall to certain thresholds. On maybe we'd have to have certain individuals take leave to save some time there. We'd have to have individuals maybe not get the full. We get bonuses at the end of the year. There's so many little different thresholds. So everything would have little different things, and at the very end, VPs would begin to get pay cuts. So, and then maybe go into the 401ks, our Roth 401ks, our 401ks would not get those bonuses. So we had this big discussion, and that's if this whole event takes a year and a half out. So we had a big discussion with my own business. So very nice. And then stock futures currently, again, this doesn't make too much, it's not too important. I may stop covering stock futures in the weekly recaps just because this does not do anything for us right now. Looking at these futures with the markets currently closed, we still have another day and a half until the markets even begin to reopen. And once we see Hong Kong, England, and Germany begin trading, on Sunday night. That'll kind of give us a sort of an indication of where the markets may head to on Monday, and then you'll see stock futures begin to move. Now, looking at the day of Friday, Friday was very positive. We saw a lot of earnings going on out there this week. That is what surprised me with the negativity. So, taking a look here at the 1 week, Facebook blasting off there, up 6.04%, PayPal 7.45%, Amazon continuing to move higher. Just a few months ago, Amazon was around $1,900, $2,000. It has put on quite a bit during this downturn, where other companies are getting hammered in this time. We can see Amazon moving up 30%, 30. So, if you put on 50% on Amazon at this time, that'd be another $1,000 onto it. So, in just the last couple months, 4 months and a few weeks, Amazon has almost put in half of what it was. It's at 30%. So, if at 50%, it would have almost doubled and a half. Not doubled, but half doubled. I don't know the terminology for that, but it's just crazy to kind of watch these companies move and how they have moved. We can see oil, the companies themselves actually moving positive. So Valero up 1.43. I was looking for a couple out there, but I don't see. That's Chevron and Exxon. Yeah, I know they weren't doing too well this week, but still a little red, and who knows what's going to go on in the future. We already sort of covered the United States Oil Fund down to 38.84%, so I won't hit you up again there. The dollar continued to move higher throughout the week, so it started pretty low at 99.80, moved up to some highs here at $100.83. So it's still over the $100 mark. So a lot of investors are moving to the dollar during this time. So maybe they're selling out of their equities, just moving to the dollar for risk off. You move to the dollar, you wait for the market to kind of fall. If you believe it'll fall, and then you buy back in. Now, I've seen some investors actually discussing that and doing that. I saw a couple of videos going over a lot of investors. They use this opportunity, this time right now, to sell out of their positions because they're looking at it with the current economic data that is being displayed out there, that they are predicting more downside potential, and I don't blame them. I see more downside potential as well, but if I sell out of my positions right now, I'm going to lose out roughly $1,000 in dividend income. I don't know what the future is going to hold for my portfolio. I may actually continue to move higher, and I will move higher in shares. The same shares that I own right now, they will pay out dividends. Those dividends will buy back more shares. If I sell out of my positions right now and I don't buy back in exactly where I sold out of, yes, I could rebuy some of those positions possibly cheaper, but could I buy every single one of my positions cheaper? Would I want to buy all of those positions again? Timing comes into play, and that's just another headache in itself. So silver and gold both positive this week, up 0.35% for silver and a nice 2.59% for gold. So very positive there. Also bonds moving up slightly at 0.05, and mortgage rates dropping to 3.55 from 3.58 1 week ago. So 1 week ago was 3.58, basically stayed flat week after week at 3.58, and then this week fell to 3.55. So interesting there, and that basically covers the recap of this week. So again, I am sorry for recording these videos very low tone and quiet. That is because my newborn is sleeping right next door to my computer room, so I do need to record these videos, and I use the time right now, 3 in the morning, to record them, so I do not want to wake up her or anybody else in the household. So that is going to be wrapping up today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, again, thank you, first of all, for tuning in. If you guys stayed until the very end, pat yourself on the back. I'd like to give you a big thumbs up myself, or some sort of a high five. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up, and of course, if you have any comments or questions, drop them into the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.